Peace and blessings, peace and blessings, peace and blessings. Hope everybody's doing good, man. Um, the kid is back in Montego Bay. I hope everybody's doing well. Um, Once again, I am late to the party. I'm late to the party with a lot of stuff. Um, I just heard about this young gentleman. I think his name is Noel Wells. Yeah, Noan Wells, I think his name is. And I said, I guess his body, they just found his body somewhere in the south. Man, I don't want to be manipulated by a lot of stuff that I see on the news and stuff that I see on social media, because I know that there is a thing called fake news. They do, I think they do distribute fake things to stir people up. I want to say to the chosen ones, man, just use discernment and just be cautious. I hear a lot of people speaking about this thing now, and it's like I gotta take some people's stuff with a grain of salt, just like I would hope everybody would take what I'm saying with a grain of salt, and just like do your own research, because you can't be too emotional when it comes to this stuff, because overall it's spiritual. I know it's going to be perceived as, it's very, very windy right now. It's going to be perceived as being a racial thing based on this third dimensional realm stuff. Hold on, let me put my cigarette out. It's going to be perceived as an emotional thing. I think, based on things that I've heard and things that I've experienced myself, our ancestors went through a lot, but at the same time, it is also our ancestors that kind of put us in the situations that we're into. And this is no disrespect, in the sense where I mean, like, we have fallen from grace in the sense where we stopped following the Heavenly Father's commands. We stopped following the doctrine, and we started we started to indulge ourselves in the things that were not good, and as a result of that, we were cursed. All right, and that's why a lot of things happened to us the way it happened to us, and it seems like as though sometimes we're still playing those things out. Because even I have to be honest, even within our communities throughout the world, and I don't want to say it's just one specific area. I think it's a global thing, because at the end of the day, it's a global system, right? So the discrimination and the dislike for I would say, for people that are like more spiritual or trying to be more positive, for some reason in this world, that's something that is frowned upon, and negativity is pushed. I had a conversation with somebody, and they said that they feel right now on Earth there is more bad people than there are good people. Let me say that again. I had a conversation with someone, and the person said to me that they feel like there is more bad people on the earth than there are good people. So you know the terminology, if you can't beat them, join them. So more people would side with negative people or bad people just to go with the flow, just so they don't stand out. It's kind of like I'm trying to think of an example. I can't think of an example right now. I just want to say, people, just use discernment, man. Um, Manipulation is a real thing. Manipulation is something that we're going to deal with every single day. Um, it is hard at this time. The hearts of what I would say the Most High's children is going to be tested big time, um, because it doesn't feel good to be hungry. It doesn't feel good to not be able to, say, provide for yourself or provide for your families. So some people will do just about anything. And I think that's the scary part, because I don't know what people would do when they're really pushed to the edge. And that is when I feel like you have this whole case of the zombie thing, because when you look at movies and you think about a zombie is like it's a humanoid figure, but they're not comprehending on a certain frequency anymore. They're no longer, their brain function is pretty much gone. And you see that zombies, they move in herds, like large groups, large crowds, and their only thing is just to feed. So the it's like the soul, or the essence of who that individual is gone, and now all that is left is just the animalistic instincts, just to feed, just to survive, just to keep the body going, right? Just an animated humanoid. And that's what I thought, with this whole robot stuff coming up into the future. That is what a robot pretty much is. It's a humanoid without no feelings, no emotions, no empathy, no nothing. Right? It's just there to function and do what it's either told to do or ordered to do, or whatever the case may be. Right? And in a scary way, society kind of is slowly becoming robots before we're robots. Right? I know that they do capture animals sometimes, and they say they're doing it for scientific purposes, and then they'll chip and mark and tag certain animals, and then release them back into their habitat, and then they monitor and they watch their migration patterns, where they go. Sometimes, I don't know, maybe their mating habits. I don't know. It's scary, folks. I just want to say, man, I'm not going to tell you to keep your heads to the skies, but just be mindful of your emotions, be mindful of yourself at this time, because things are going to get very, very scary. I don't know. I don't want to scare you. I just have to be real. I don't know how long a lot of y'all could like be without food or be without water. That could be a real thing, right? Because at the end of the day, man, the enemies to your soul doesn't care about your livelihood and how you live. You have to keep in mind, if this whole stuff with the sci-fi stuff in regards to the Anunnaki, right? They had a lower class species other than themselves, which they call the Ajiji. Right? Now, I don't know if the Ajiji were composed of, say, different alien races, or just one specific race or species. But after a while, I think that according to the story, they rebelled and they turned against the Anunnaki, right? And I'm not sure if the Anunnaki annihilated them or because the Anunnaki, they appear to be like a very powerful race of people, right? And they're highly advanced. So either the Gigi were able to still be able to, I don't know, function within their society, within their civilization, continuing to be a working class to the Anunnaki, and then you hear about how they crafted or they then engineered their own species. Based on what the story says, they crafted the DNA of the humanoids that were already on Earth, and then added their DNA to that humanoid species. I think that there's a lot of things left out. I think there's a lot of things missing. This goes back to the whole artifacts and scrolls and information and things missing throughout the world history or human history, the history of man. So I'm not sure how accurate that could be, but it's a possibility. This is what people today would consider hybrid species. A hybrid species that would then continue being a working class, only they would be exclusively working for the Anunnaki. All right, and so in terms of a social a social hierarchy or social classes, it would then mean that the Anunnaki is on top of everybody. So it would be your Anunnaki, then it would be their children, right? Then it would be the hybrids. No. Yeah, their children. It would be the Anunnaki, their children, the Agigi, if the Agigi still exist, and then the hybrids. All right, and then I guess the last. I hate to say the bottom of that list or the end of that list would be then man or humans. All right. They said that the Neanderthals existed, all right, but they had a lot of genetics. They had a lot of genetic problems. Thus, you hear that a lot of them are not around anymore, but traces of their DNA still exists. I don't know. Maybe I'm just talking. But I would just say, chosen ones, be mindful of your surroundings. Be mindful of the people that you're around. We are going into the last days. I would say keep your head to the skies. Be mindful. Not all these clouds you see are really clouds. I'm not trying to scare you or scare anybody. Not all these clouds you see are really clouds. All right? Keep that in mind. Not all these clouds that you see in the skies are really clouds. All right? The hearts of men will be tempted. All right? And we have to do our best to resist temptation, including myself. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Sometimes I feel like I gotta be stronger and be wiser with my decisions and be mindful with my thoughts, because it is said that these entities, one of the reasons why they want to keep you close to them is because so they can read your thoughts. They want to know what you're thinking. All right. Sometimes they keep people close to them so that they can know what they're thinking. And then if they do have these psychic abilities, they can then try and trick or manipulate your mind or your thoughts with doubt, fear, all these low vibrating things, right? To have you doubt yourself, have you doubt your divinity, have you doubt the Most High, have you doubt God, have you doubt that you don't have any protection, that nobody's coming to save you, right? And I don't think that's the case. I think the Most High is definitely going to rescue his children. But we just have to be mindful that we don't see ourselves as cursed, meaning that we are not supposed to suffer because somebody said we're supposed to suffer. Let me say that again. Let us not put ourselves in the mindset that we are supposed to suffer because somebody said that we're supposed to suffer. All right? I didn't hear it from the Most High's mouth saying that my children right now, you're supposed to suffer. I didn't hear that. All right? But we're probably going to go through some trials and tribulation. We're probably going to go through some hard times because our hearts are going to be tested. This whole heaven thing, I think heaven is just another dimension that is just a different world, as opposed to being under the dominion of an alien species. We will be in a Wakanda type of sense, right? A place that's for us, by us, and help and meant to better our lives. This realm is too conflicting. It's too much fighting. Too much fighting amongst each other. Outside of too much fighting with outside groups. It's a lot of bullying, a lot of emotional bullying, mental bullying, it's just to me that it's like the Anunnaki feel like it's either their way or no way. All right, and we'll see how it works out, man. But I would say to the chosen ones, to the ones that are trying to be righteous, the ones that want to see a better life or a better future, don't get caught up into the whole division stuff. There's a lot of people that are trying to push division, even within people in their communities, their religious groups, their whatever, social groups, whatever the case may be. They are people that have infiltrated every group to continue the division. All right, I want you to keep that in mind. They are, I would say, they are spiritual agents, right? Continuing to do their best to infiltrate groups to continue division. Right? Every villain needs a hero to fight against. Every villain needs a hero to fight against. All right? Heroes are not looking for villains, but villains are looking for heroes to fight, to oppose them. Do you understand? When I'm just using this as an example. When Superman is flying around in the sky, he's not looking for the toughest person on the street to fight. You understand? Does that make sense? But throughout comics, movies, whatever the case may be, any characters from, I don't know, anime or whatever, right? The villain, the bad guy, is always looking for a hero or a good person to oppose them. All right? The villain will always show their hand. The hero is usually hidden. You don't even know who the hero is until it's time for them to step up. If you get a chance, watch the movie. What's the name of that movie? It's the movie by Stephen King. And it has aliens in it too. Let me see if I can look it up real quick. Let me tell y'all. Because in that movie, one of the heroes was a very unlikely character. All right? Where's my tablet? He was a very unlikely character, but he ended up being the main hero. All right? I think they called him Duds, or I forgot what they. Let's see if I can find it. I can't remember the name of it. I remember Morgan Freeman was in the movie, and I think he was a military commander that went rogue. He was a military commander in that movie that went rogue. You have to keep in mind that a lot of people, because they were given dominion or given power to do certain things, they will, and I don't know if it's a human thing or if it's just a flaw sometimes within us internally, that we may abuse power. I don't think that's the case with everybody, but I think that sometimes people will abuse power, right? And in the movie, Morgan Freeman's character went rogue. He had good intentions at first, and then he just started to do his own thing. All right? Scary, but it's true. All right? That's why I pray to the Most High, and I take nothing for granted. But spiritually, folks, it is bigger than the color of somebody's skin right now. All right? Overall, in a spiritual sense, this thing is bigger than people's color, man. It's a spiritual thing, man. If what we know is true, a lot of let's see if I can find this. Lord, forgive me. I'm trying to find this movie. Let me see. Stephen King. Maybe if I just put in Stephen King alien movies. Okay. Dreamcatcher. That's the name of the movie, Dreamcatcher. And in the movie, the hero was it was a group of friends, and he was actually an alien from another planet, but he ended up being the hero. He was perceived as being autistic, but you have to watch the movie for yourself. But he turned out to be the hero. All right. So even your villains today, all right, what you consider villains or bad guys, they will pursue anybody or attack anybody they think is going to oppose them or oppose their will to dominate or to rule or to be a cruel person, right? And I listened to some scriptures, and some scriptures are saying that humanity is going to be ruled by cruel people, i.e. dictators and things of that nature, right? People abusing their power on humanity, right? But you never know who's the real hero. The real hero, say, for humanity, may not even be known. We may not even know who he is or she is. All right? They might be somewhere chilling, just observing everything going on. All right? For real. That's just an example. The movie was called Dreamcatchers, and it was an autistic young man that he passed on some special gifts to his friends, and he ended up being the hero to save humanity. Right? He ended up turning into, it's kind of crazy. He ended up transforming into an alien to fight the alien that wanted to kill humanity, that wanted to kill man. Right? But he looked human and he was autistic. So he flew under the radar. Nobody was checking for him. Do you understand? So let's say a villain you could think of, say the Joker, or for Superman it would be like Darkseid. A Batman would be Joker. I'm trying to think of villains. From like comics and stuff. I can't think of a bunch. But like, the hero is somebody that's not known, not seen. They probably don't have social media, none of that stuff. All right? They just might be down here to be used by the Most High or whomever, whatever is good in the cosmos, good in the universe, to do their job when it's time. To save, I would say, the Most High's children. All right. You never know, that hero might turn into Thragg. I love the Vulturemite stuff, man. Thragg, I'm not. Now I think about it. I'm not trying to scare y'all. But now I think about it, Thragg to me is like the Archangel Michael. He's no joke. He's probably the most powerful, strongest, say, archangel, right? And his main thing is just to protect his people and to do his job. I know Thragg was perceived as being a bad guy, but I see Thragg as being an enforcer for good. Because as powerful as he is, you've seen that he didn't really seem like he was abusing his power, except when he started that civil war with the Viltrumites. I didn't like that. But other than that, I seen that Thragg seemed like he was very chill and very, very humble. Because if he wanted to, he could crush everybody. He was stronger than everybody. There was nobody that was stronger than him. Right? But let's just hope that the hero for humanity is Thragg. And nobody knows who he is. He's not on social media, or she's not on social media. All right? And when the time comes, Thragg will show up. When the time comes, Thragg will show up. Chosen ones, keep your head to the skies. Pay attention. These clouds are not all clouds. All these clouds you see are not just clouds. We have fake clouds. We have spray chemicals in the sky, all type of stuff. So be mindful. All right? Peace.